Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to J Wall Sports. We are back here with another episode.
Another. Hey, Pistol,
This,
our receiver, hit my line. Hit my line.
what is up with you in this? When you bench your seasoned veteran quarterback this late in the season, it's sending a message to the team.
Then goes out. And now they want to play with some heart. They want to play with some effort.
I see why Doc got fired. If you're not gonna make the adjustments as a coach, you need to go up and get up out of here.
Wentz has regressed. And it's a mental. I mean,
Disclaimer: he might have some outrageous, Max Kellerman type, things to say today. I don't know what he's gonna say, but the way he's starting off his video is giving me them vibes. What's up, J Wall Sports fans? Welcome back to another episode.
we back.
Yes, sir. As always, I'm with my guy, Nice Sean, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Just making it.
Man, I feel you, man. But hey, I'm excited for today, man. We got some really hot topics today. A lot's been going on in the NFL. And yes, you heard me right. I said the NFL. I know we took a little break for playoffs for the NBA, and we had a lot of NBA stuff back to back. But hey, man, the NFL is 6 weeks away from the kickoff of the season. So we got to get back to the work in the NFL, man. So first things first, Aaron Rodgers is back, guys. After disputes between Rodgers and the Packers organizations over the past weekend, the two sides were able to reach mutual agreed upon terms that have persuaded Rodgers to abandon his plans. He had to skip training camp and instead return. Rumors say that the deal includes Rodgers staying for one season with the option to be on a new team for the 2022 season, be it trade or free agency. Who would you deem the loser in this dispute?
I like to say the Packers, man. Yes, I know Aaron Rodgers didn't want to come back this season, but we already know after this season he's not going to return. He has too many issues with the organization in the front office. Not getting the weapons or the other pieces for the team that they need to be Super Bowl contenders. So maybe they sweeten a little deal, give him a little bit extra money this year. Trying to talk him into it, like, hey man, come on, we need you because he's one of the best. But overall, Packers are going to lose this, and I do see him. I don't even see him becoming. I mean, I'm not becoming a free agent, but trying to be traded. I see him just being a free agent and finding his own next home for the next, maybe 3 or 4 years to try to make a late Super Bowl run before he decides to hang it up. But I see the Packers losing this one here.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I'm the Packers, I want to trade him so I can get some valuable assets for him. Either some draft picks, a comparable backup player, because I don't think Jordan Love is going to be the long term or the short term answer for this team. So if I'm the Packers organizations, GMs, owners, all 50 of them, I'm trying to get Aaron Rodgers to get traded, because if he gets a free agency, I get nothing out of it. And I'm stuck trying to do a rebuild, and no player wants to come to my organization without, a perennial quarterback who they can believe in. But I do agree with you that the Packers are the losers in this dispute. In the beginning, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't have any leverage whatsoever besides being the reigning MVP and not wanting to play for the organization anymore. Aaron Rodgers, over the offseason, he slowly started taking that leverage away from the organization. And to me, it all started when he went and hosted Jeopardy, and he killed it to the point where he contemplated hosting Jeopardy in the offseason and playing football during the season. And to maybe he'll hang it up because of disputes with the team and just, host Jeopardy for sure. And then, Jordan Love, he started getting those starter reps in practice over the offseason. Although the coaches and the GMs, they said different things, they gave him all praises in press conferences. I think it's a different story behind the scenes. And I think they realized that, like I said, Jordan Love is not the long-term option, nor he is the short-term option for this team. And then the thing that I think that got the organization to give in to Aaron Rodgers' demands is that Devontae Adams was started publicly being on Aaron Rodgers' side in this dispute. And the post from Rodgers and Adams with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, I think that really, let them know, like, we can't mess up losing, two perennial players that are probably future Hall of Famers. So they did what they could, and they worked to restructure the deal, give Aaron Rodgers something that was friendly towards him.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. As an organization, you shouldn't have a player not wanting to play for your organization, not trying to win a championship for y'all, and to give up leverage that you had for so long. And now it's kind of, even 50-50. The side can do what they want to do now. It's not good. So next couple years in Green Bay is gonna be rocky, I believe.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with you.
But moving on to another quarterback, the Houston Texans reported that they are open to trading Deshaun Watson. Early in the offseason, Watson requested a trade that was denied by the organization, and then trade rumors died soon after the off-the-field allegations began. When Watson was first asked to be traded, his destinations were the Jets, Dolphins, 49ers, and Bears. Where do you see Deshaun Watson being traded to?
I think it's only one real answer. Before all the allegations of the off the field stuff, I think there were a multitude of options for him. But with all the trades and the draft going, I think a lot of teams have found their QB1 or their two QBs that they're going to rock with. And the only team I could see him really going to is the Washington football team. Besides, his off the field stuff, I mean, we've never heard a coach, a player, or organization, anybody speak ill of Deshaun Watson. And on top of that, he's 26 years old, and he's still, in my opinion, he's still a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, let's just look at his stats last season on a team that only won 4 games. He threw for 4,823 yards, which led the NFL. He averaged 301 yards per game, which was second amongst quarterbacks. He threw 33 touchdowns, which was 7th amongst quarterbacks. He had a completion percentage of 70%, which was 12th amongst quarterbacks. And he was sacked 49 times, which was second in the NFL behind Carson Wentz, who had 50. I mean, on that team, he had the 3rd worst defense in the NFL, and that allowed 29 points per game. So you're telling me my quarterback has to throw, 300 yards, which is his average, which he can do that with not a true number 1 receiver on that team, and he has to score 30 plus points every game for him to win? That's a shootout. You can't ask your quarterback to do that every game. We've seen it happen time and time again, and it doesn't work out for that team, and it didn't work out for the Texans, but Deshaun Watson still went out there and balled. So I see him going to the Washington football team, if anything, because they need a quarterback and they have assets to give up, and they will still have a good core.
See, I come up with a little different idea, a little different spell, because
you said Carolina, didn't you?
Option. I did throw my boys in there, but they're not a front row.
Okay.
But I can see the 49ers still making a move for him because they still have Jimmy G, and they drafted Trey Lance. So I either give up one of those 2 pieces. If anything, give up a injured Jimmy G who hasn't been healthy for most of his career, or you can give up a young Trey Lance who you haven't seen much of, and it's kind of like a reboot for the Texans. Right. And they have a lot of weapons on the offensive end. Even if they do have to get in a shootout, you have the weapons around him to at least compete. They have a defense that can win. And they're 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, so that's another legit option. Maybe the Jets, but like even the teams that they drafted a quarterback. Like I said, it maybe can trade that rookie quarterback that they drafted. It might not be the best decision, or like the media's gonna clown like, hey, you wasted a pick. You could have got something else for the team if you to end up trading for Watson. But at the same time, you gotta look at it. This is a quarterback that hasn't touched the NFL field, that's still learning, and he can do the same thing at he's in Texan organization. So, but I still believe the 49ers can be the front runner for him, and it could be a great landing spot for him.
Yeah, that's a really good option. I did not exercise that thought in my rationality, but that was really good though. I like that decision. Yeah. So, hey man, we hope the best.
I'm still teaching the ropes, son. I'm still teaching the ropes, son. To open your mind
up. Wow. Bro just summed me on the podcast. That's cool. All right. That's cool. Hey, that's the only thing that threw me off. Hey, but we hope Deshaun the best. I hope he gets on a good team that he can take really far in the playoffs, because he deserves to be in the Super Bowl within the next 3-4 years. So hopefully he gets into a good situation. But speaking of quarterbacks, there are quarterback battles everywhere around the league. And me and Nishan, we will go through these teams and we will pick who will be the starting quarterback on week 1 for these teams. First, we are going to start with the Chicago Bears, where Andy Dalton and Justin Fields are battling it out as we speak. Nishan, who will be the starting quarterback on week 1?
I'd say Andy Dalton, just to get things started. And then as the season progresses, Justin Fields will see the field. If they're smart, that's what they would do or should do, I would say, because Andy Dalton wasn't getting it done in Cincinnati. He's been out. Well, was he out the league for a year? Or he wasn't really getting burned?
Yeah, he went straight from Cincinnati. He went straight from Cincinnati to Dallas, and then he sat out.
Yeah, he backed up.
And he backed up.
He backed up in there, and it didn't look good in Dallas. And Dallas had a lot of wide receiver options, and the Bears do not have a lot of wide receiver options. So I don't see him flourishing in Chicago, which means it's only gonna be a matter of time for Justin Fields to see the field, because I would just see Andy Dalton as a reliable backup to teach him the ropes, help him learn the offense. So you have Andy Dalton starting the season to see how the offense should be ran, and as the season progresses, you throw Justin Fields in there and see how things go.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Andy Dalton did not have a good time in Dallas, and for that reason is why I'm going to say Justin Fields will be the starter on week 1. We've heard nothing but good news about Fields since arriving to the Bears facility. And then for Andy Dalton, in 11 games in the same division, Andy Dalton had 2,169 passing yards. He had a 64.9 completion percentage, threw 14 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, had a QBR of 53%. He had 5 wins and 4 losses as a starter. I'm sorry, he had 4 wins and 5 losses as a starter. And with those 4 wins being over the Vikings, the Bengals, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Eagles. And let's just go back and think about that. The Vikings have not been good did not play well all season last year. I hate to say it, that's my team, but we played terrible. Defense was terrible. That very, very subpar for them. The Bengals didn't have Joe Burrow because he was out with the ACL tear at the time. San Francisco didn't have Jimmy G, and they were abysmal without Jimmy G. And then the Eagles, overall, they were just abysmal. They're trying to figure out who's going to be QB1, Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. Coaching was terrible with how they brought in Hurts. So that team was bad. And you have 4 losses over 4 bad teams. That doesn't look good for me. So, and then the Bears, they were 8-8 last season. Out of those 8 wins, one of those came against a team that had finished with a record 500 or better, and that was the Tampa Bay Bucks. But that was in week 5, and we know after that bye week, when they got beat terribly by the Chiefs, they came back and they had it seems like they just gelled and they went on to win the Super Bowl. the Bears, they have nothing to lose with putting Justin Fields in early. So I think he'll be the starter on week 1.
Great take. I mean, we'll have to see. And we
Yeah,
will
we're gonna
see.
see.
Okay.
We're gonna see.
Moving on to the next team, the New England Patriots. Who will be the starting quarterback for them on week 1? Cam Newton or Mac Jones?
Cam Newton. Cam Newton will be the starting quarterback by week 1. Cam Newton, he's a vet quarterback, proven MVP. You know, he took his team to a Super Bowl. We all talk about how difficult it was for Tom Brady to learn a new offense with no OTAs, no mini camps, nothing in the offseason, just go straight to week 1 and play. And we praise him for overcoming it. So why are we not going to praise quarterbacks from other teams that went to a new system, you know, for doing what they were able to do with that system and knowing that they will be better the next season as how we think Tom Brady will be better next season. Cam Newton was playing well before he tested positive for COVID-19, and we've had multiple players across multiple sports have all talked about how difficult it was to play their sport after, you know, coming out of quarantine for COVID-19. One player off the top of my head was Jason Tatum earlier in the season. He said after, you know, he came back, his win just wasn't the same. And you got to think about it. Cam Newton, he's a mobile quarterback. He's not a pocket quarterback. His win not being the same, potentially not being the same, you know, going in, it could hinder a lot of things. Your body not being able to keep working out and keep doing the things it do for 2 weeks can cause a lot of problems in you trying to get back and just go back to 100% after you've been on 0% for 2 weeks. I think that played a major factor in his performance last season. Some things were inexcusable, but some things I think, you know, long term over the game or the course of the game played a factor into him being tested positive for COVID, being out of that system for 2 weeks. So I think the race will be close. I think it'll be a decision that's made during the preseason when we can see Mac Jones have some actual game time reps, but I think Cam Newton will be QB1.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I believe Cam Newton will be the starting quarterback week 1. I mean, they wouldn't have re-signed him if he wasn't going to start. And you know, Bill Belichick loves a plan for having backup quarterbacks in the future. So I just see that as a backup plan that he can work on and mold for the next season or two. If they do decide to re-sign Cam next year or put him on the contract after the season. And like you said, coming off of COVID and not having OTAs, training camp, he even said it on the I Am Athlete podcast when he was talking about, yes, even though when he was out, the offense didn't stop. You know, they kept going. So not having an off season and a training camp to help prepare you, you're coming into a new system, a new organization. You know, they have the Patriot way over there in New England. And when you miss time, they're not going to stop and wait up for you. And I believe the analogy he used is like going on a road trip and you driving different cars and you say, I'm going to stop and get some gas. Y'all keep going. So he was the car that was getting gas and the team just kept on going. So you saw that after he came back from COVID and how it really affected him. And like you said, he played really well the first couple of weeks in the season before testing positive for COVID. So I do believe, you know, having a full off season this year, training camp, OTAs, that you will see a better Cam Newton and he will be the starting quarterback.
I think another big factor is he's not going to be in a state of recovery from an injury, but he's going to be preparing, working on skills, and then, you know, he's going to have his receivers he can work with. So I think it'll be a very, very much better season than last season. So moving on to a team we talked about earlier with Deshaun Watson maybe going there, they still have a QB battle, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, longtime vet, Trey Lance, rookie drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, third pick. They're battling it out. So who do you think will be the starter on week 1?
Jimmy G. If he can stay healthy, then, you know, he'll probably play. But he just knows the offense right now, so it'll be easy to plug in somebody who already knows the offense, know how things go, know how things go. And then, like I said, if Deshaun Watson becomes available and they are willing to trade him, Jimmy G might leave, and you already have someone behind him that's watching and learning the offense, learning the system, and seeing how things are being ran. So Jimmy G for right now, and trust me, if he's not on his A game, he's been kind of inconsistent as a quarterback. I believe to be quick to give Trey Lance a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jimmy G would be the starter by week 1. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, Jimmy's got this team to a Super Bowl just 2 seasons ago, and he was up majority of that game until Patrick Mahomes decided to have a Patrick Mahomes game and have that comeback victory in the fourth quarter. When Jimmy G is healthy, he's a top quarterback in his league, unless and my thing with this, I think that Jimmy G was going to be the starter in week 1, no matter who they drafted, unless somehow Trevor Lawrence fell to San Fran, and then it's bye-bye Jimmy at that point, because it's Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he's a perennial athlete. Everybody has a high ceiling for him, So it's going to be Jimmy G. But if he gets hurt during the season, I think Trey Lance he's going to step. Well, most likely he is going to step in, and he's going to handle business. And I think that's going to be a bad thing to happen for Jimmy G.
Moving on to New Orleans. Who will be the starting quarterback for New Orleans Saints? Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill?
Man, it's going to be Jameis Winston.
I thought you were about to say something foolish. Go ahead.
No. I had to make it a little dramatic. Jameis Winston will be the starter by week 1. Jameis Winston, he was a good quarterback when he played for the Buccaneers. But the Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit offense play style was not a good fit for a young quarterback in the NFL. I think a year behind Drew Brees, who was one of the most efficient quarterbacks during his time in the league, I think that's going to rub off on Jameis Winston. I think he will be the starter. I think Taysom Hill, I don't see him as a starting quarterback. I think one of his biggest advantages in this league to keep making money, and one of the biggest advantages to this team, is to do what he's been doing this entire time, not coming on, sparingly, like 3rd and short, 2nd and short, and running and having a multitude of plays which he can run, which will keep the defense on their feet. And I think his play style will match Jameis' play style, instead of it coming in and being a completely different scenario between Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. Both of them are mobile quarterbacks. Both of them have a pretty decent arm. Both of them make decent reads. And I think them being able to run the same plays, I think it will throw the defenses off for a while, but I think defense will sort of catch on. But I think that play style for Taysom Hill will be, the best thing for this team.
I have to agree, just for the simple fact that Jameis Winston is a better passer than Taysom Hill. And you've seen that when Drew Brees went out for like 4 or 5 weeks with the bruised ribs or broken ribs this season. And he kind of flourished in the system. And you can see it was a fresh start from him coming off being behind Bruce Arians. And his last season in Tampa Bay, he went 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. No ESPN short film, 30 for 30, but 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns. And like you said, I just believe Taysom Hill will flourish if he stays in the position he is in right now, being so dynamic and doing more than one thing. And the Saints haven't really given him a chance to be a quarterback. Not from what I've seen. He's always come in as first. I haven't seen him for a full drive, lead the team, orchestrate the offense. So just keep him at the role he has. And I like what you said. They can kind of play off each other and, come up with maybe a couple of trick plays or have both of them at the game at the same time. I mean, in the same play at the same time.
I think that'd be big too. Hey man, that could be that if you think about it, man. 30 for 30, 30 for 30 on Jameis Winston, that could be the title. He went from 30 to 30 to Super Bowl MVP and just go and keep going straight. ESPN. If it happens, Call me. I should be the first person y'all call, man. Call me and we get this thing worked out. 30 for 30, Jameis Winston, how he went from 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, Super Bowl MVP, Hall of Fame player. I see it. And his coach Sean Payton, if he does it right, he can be known as the quarterback saver. That'd be his name for his career.
I like that.
Yeah. So the last one we got for today is in Denver. Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater battling it out for QB1. Who's gonna win?
Honestly, in my opinion, this is the closest one.
Yeah, for sure.
I say it depends on how they do in training camp, and that will kind of determine. But I can honestly see them waiting to the start of week 1 to see who's going to be the starting quarterback. Drew Lock hasn't shown a lot, but towards the end of the season, this past season, he kind of got in the groove. Teddy Bridgewater coming from playing for Carolina and coming off that devastating injury that took 2 full seasons from him, and not really, I want to say, flourishing in the Carolina system. It will be interesting. They both have strong arms, and Teddy's issue in Carolina was him not pushing the ball downfield. But they have some weapons down in Denver, so we have to work with Jerry Jeudy, tight end Noah Fant. And they got a couple of young speedsters too as well.
Yeah.
So how
are you gonna call them young speedsters? And we probably the same age as them. That just sounded weird.
Chill. Probably older than them, to be honest with you. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're close to about the same age, 2-3 years different, probably. Yeah, but go ahead and finish.
Trying to make a prediction on who's gonna be the quarterback. I'm gonna say Drew Lock. Then if he doesn't do well, then you throw in an experienced Teddy.
Man, I'm at to discourage you, man. I think Teddy's gonna win the job. Teddy's a vet quarterback. He's mobile. Decision making is better. Yeah, he doesn't push it down the field, but I even said this on earlier episodes that we had when we talked about Teddy Bridgewater and his future with the team. I thought they should have kept him because, like we just talked about, we can't give Tom Brady all the praise for doing what he did with no OTAs, no mini camps, no off-season trainings, no none of that, and penalize every other quarterback who didn't materialize the way we thought they were going to do in on the prospective organizations. I think this year is going to be a good year for Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Drew Lock, his decision making is poor. He was 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions last season. I mean, I love Drew Lock. I love his game. I love his swagger, but not to down talk him, but I don't think you get any worse than that. If you put Teddy in, cool, and Teddy starts doing well, great. If Teddy doesn't start doing well, I mean, we go back to Drew Lock. I think it's a win-win situation or a lose-lose situation, depending on how the ties go. I mean, it's win-win if Teddy comes and Teddy does well. I mean, if Teddy don't do well, Drew Lock comes in, he does well. It's a lose-lose if they both come in, they both terrible.
Ooh, that'd be funny. It wouldn't be funny, but
yeah. But Denver has done a lot to improve their line, improve their defensive line, and tight ends, receivers. So I think they'll have some targets to throw to. So I can't really see them being both terrible. One got to work out.
Lord willing. and the creek don't rise. And the rapture don't come. I bet.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning into another episode of J-Wall Sports. If you guys haven't, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Interact with me and Nyshawn. Follow us on our personal pages in our bios on J-Wall Sports. And if you guys haven't, go ahead and hit the notification bell that's somewhere up there. It's up there somewhere. Or if you're on the mobile device, it's somewhere down here. Hey, but hit the like button.
Find it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
go
find
and
us.
find it. It's somewhere around the square above us. And hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and we out.